I haven't filmed in this chair in a while, and like y'all wonder why, but like the glare is so bad. And every time I film here, I'm like, okay, every time I set the light at this approximate angle, you won't get a ton of glare. But then every time it just doesn't work. Is that better? Is it better? Barely. But will I leave it? Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. Welcome to the June Ramble video. It has been a hot minute since I've sat in this seat in any sort of video, and apparently people have missed it. And by apparently, I mean I don't think anybody has, but some people definitely told me that they hated the shot that I have been using, where I've been filming like on my bed or whatever. Y'all want to know the behind the scenes scoop. The only reason I ever filmed like out in my living room a lot, like I guess mostly a couple months ago or like last year, was because I had my puppy and he was still a puppy, and when you have like a baby puppy you can't trust him to be anywhere in the house without you there. So I was just like, obviously I can't leave my dog and I don't want to lock him in his cage for like an hour or two while I work, so I would just sit out here with him and film. But now he's old and I cannot have to do that anymore, so I've started to film in my room. And apparently people have a problem with that, so welcome to the seat. This topic was picked by one of my patrons, Adriana. I think that's how you say it. If not, I'm very sorry. But I now have 2 people in the $10 patron rank, which is really exciting because now there isn't one person coming up with all the ideas, and now there will be 2. And I'm hoping that maybe when we get like maybe 1 or 2 more, I will never have to come up with an idea for the patron poll ever again, because every month when it comes around and I ask the people for their requests, I'll like write down the ones that I think will work for the video and ones that I think I have a lot of ideas for, and every month like I get like maybe 1 or 2 that I think will work very well, and then I'm like, uh-oh, now I gotta think of like 3 or 4 other ones, and every single time I just want to die the whole time. So yay, I'm happy that we're getting some new people in there, if they stay, because they might unpledge, which will be sad, but I get it. But anyways, the topic was things I hate in books, and at first I was like, frick, because I didn't know if I was gonna have enough thoughts, and I didn't really want the video to be me saying like 3 things and having it be really short and stupid. But as I thought things out and just wrote things when they came to my head, I constructed like a pretty long list. And I mean, coming from me, I feel like that's not super surprising, but I feel like I have some really fun things on here, things that I think I've never really said that I hate before. Some of them are more obvious. Oh, and I also forgot that I have this cup of coffee right here, so I'm gonna just be sipping it. Yeah, so I don't know why I like described what you do with coffee. I'm gonna be sipping it and drinking it. This is a mess. Let's just start. The first thing that I hate in books is when they are blatantly copying popular trends, but more specifically, when they don't try to hide the fact that they're just copying other trends. I just hate when publishers and sometimes authors care more about the money and the quantity of things rather than the quality. It's like, we can publish this new young adult dystopian, and it's not very good, but it's kind of like the Hunger Games, and it kind of looks like the Hunger Games on the cover, so we're not gonna make it good, we're just gonna sell it to you. And I think that happens way too often, and I just think it needs to stop, honestly. Sorry, I'm gonna adjust this tripod because it looks like I'm a small child when I'm sitting here. And also, I'm not gonna stop recording it because I'm just somewhat of a bad boy. I don't know. Okay, up next, we got expanding series for money. I felt that one. For a long time I loved Cassandra Clare and the Shadowhunter world, but I'm freaking over it. I just think that it gets to a point where it's unnecessary, and like I said earlier, it's just preferring quantity over quality, and I'm never about that. With the Shadowhunter world as an example, I bought that random, I don't even know what it is, the Magnus and Alec book that she did, and I read the first page and I just had rolled my eyes, and I don't know why, I was just over it. And it's unfortunate that I feel that way, but I just felt like at that moment it was more about money and pleasing people because people wanted more from those characters, and not necessarily the fact that that was a story that needed to be told, and it was just frustrating. And when I think about it more, every single young adult franchise or like young adult book series that was relatively popular has spin-off material, like the Shadowhunters, the Darkest Minds. Legend is getting a 4th book. I don't even know anybody who cares about that series. And it's so weird and unnecessary. And it feels like the timing is so weird too, where all these authors like wrote a big popular series, and then they wrote a follow-up series, and it didn't do very well. And now we're gonna return to the world that you all care about. It's just bad timing, and it never feels planned, and it's unfortunate. It really is. I had tweeted something out about, like, you know, the Hunger Games prequel, which I'm really excited for, and of course everybody just wanted to subtweet about it, which is valid. I think it's gonna be really good, and I don't think she's doing it for money. I'm just worried that it's not gonna live up to the other ones, and it's gonna not be as good, or maybe so much time has passed that it's not really the same for me anymore, and I'm sort of over it. I'm scared, but I am really excited for it. Up next, we have when the author explains everything to you. You know what I mean? Like when an author, instead of conveying things naturally through the plot and the dialogue, they just say it all straight up. Like, I feel like I want to use Divergent as an example just because I feel like it's really funny to hate on Divergent. But instead of just having Triss go to the choosing ceremony and have her be like, oh, I gotta switch the factions, we gotta choose. And then while we're there, we learn about it in the dialogue and in the ceremony, which would have made sense. I feel like at the beginning of the book, she just explains all the factions and explains how they all work and all of that, which I feel like is not good. And I just hate it a lot of times because it treats you like you're a big freaking idiot, and I'm just over that. Especially when authors are like, here's how everything works. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this. Why is the lighting so weird? And how come whenever I try to make it look not bad, it just somehow looks worse? Anyways, I was reading Game of Thrones, and I was loving that so much just because I loved the world building, and I loved how it wasn't explaining things to me, and as I read more, I started to understand things from earlier chapters that were a bit confusing. And I say was enjoying just because I haven't picked that book up in a couple weeks because I've been so busy, but I want to finish it so bad. I'm like nearly 300 pages in, but it is so dense where it's like, I feel like I've read like 8 books in that series. I haven't even finished the first one, and the first one is the shortest one in the series. I'm screwed. Okay, up next, we have when the humor in a book is really stupid and terrible and bad, but every character in the scene dies laughing as if it's the funniest thing that has ever been said ever. Do you know what I mean when I say this? Like, I feel like I read it in a Colleen Hoover book before, where it's like, this is so funny. We're dying laughing at this joke he just told. He's so funny. Wow, this is so good. But it's like not a funny joke, and it sort of just feels like the author like patting themselves on the back for being funny, but it's not funny. And like, you can say 100 times in the actual book that it's funny, but it doesn't make it funny. You know what I mean? Have you ever experienced something like that? It annoys me so much. And I know that it's so melodramatic and just doesn't matter at all, and just like not laugh and then just continue. But I've read some actually funny books where I'm dying laughing at what's going on. They never really stop to have all the characters reinforce the fact that it's funny. It's just a funny line followed with the rest of the scene. But unfunny people often just say, it's funny, get it? We told a joke. But like, it's not. I don't know why, but that bothers me so much. Okay, up next we have self-insert. I hate self-insert so very much. I don't know why, but it makes my skin crawl. Like, it's funny when it's Wattpad, and it's funny when it's like 12-year-old girl with my same name, and it's funny and like you can laugh at it, and like sometimes it's endearing. But like when you're like a published author and you're literally fanficking yourself and your life and the people around you, it makes me really uncomfortable. And I honestly think that that's just the first sign that you're a bad writer that can't come up with like characters or like a good world. Yikes, but it's true. I feel like Sarah J Maas does this because all of her characters are like beautiful woman who's blonde and she's funny and sarcastic and never did anything wrong. And then you like watch a Sarah J Maas interview and she just is like sort of swooning over the men of her series in the same way that her main character does. And then you start to realize like, wait, did she write this character imagining herself as this character so that she could be in a way with these men, like in a sex way? And then it's all just uncomfortable and you feel like you can't ship it anymore because suddenly, instead of just reading a beautiful blossoming relationship between Feyre and Rhys, you're suddenly just experience Sarah J Maas's sex fantasy. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who feels that way. And this is the only reason I haven't read Again But Better, because I know for a fact that I'm not gonna like that book, but also the main complaint that I've read from a lot of people is the fact that it's really self-insert, and I'm just not about that, and I just feel like it will be uncomfortable. It's unfortunate because I think there are so many cringy things where I could easily make a video be hilarious because it's so badly written, but I just feel like we can get into the whole negative reviewers wanting attention thing, and I'm over that, but I just feel like I don't want to be the person that just hates booktube books. I just feel like inevitably if I were to make a review about Again But Better, I would make fun of all the characters and make fun of everything, and then because it's so self-insert and so uncomfortable that everybody will be like, yikes. And I know that sometimes people think when you make like a negative review or like make fun of somebody's book, you're making fun of the author. I feel like if I were to make fun of the character that was based off of the author, in a way I am making fun of the author, and I just, it's uncomfortable. I don't know. I just know for a fact that I would hate that book because first of all, I hate young adult contemporary, and also a lot of people have compared it to Colleen Hoover. I don't know if they compared it in an abuse way or if they just compared it in a like bad writing way. I don't know. It's confusing. I'm interested in reading it only just because the same reason with Zenith, where it's like I want to support this person, but at the same time I don't know if me reading it will do more harm than good. You know, like I even wanted to buy Nexus. Isn't that crazy? Like I hated it and there was so much drama that followed and I lost a lot of respect for a lot of people. When that book came out and I saw nobody mentioning it, I felt so bad because I feel like in a way I contributed, but I wanted to buy it and support it and not read it. Like I wanted to buy it and then never read it, never show it in a video just to, you know, give money and support them, which is so sad. And I didn't buy it. I did get the sample just because I wanted to see if the writing was any better and just wanted to see how things were going, and also I wanted to see if it was funny and bad, but it just seemed boring. Like not funny boring, just like I want to die boring, you know? And also I didn't know what was going on because it's just been so long, and also because book one was so terribly written where I had no idea what was going on, so I was just reading and I was like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know who these people are, but at least I don't have to make a video about it. Okay, so up next I have I just wrote the word tangent, and I know exactly what I was referring to here, and I guess my example was Stephen King. I read Misery early this year, and it was misery. I rated it pretty highly, and I enjoyed Misery a lot, but I just realized that the writing is almost entirely centered on a tangent where the main character will be in his head, and I understand that it works too because he's like trapped in this bed, so there's not a ton of places we can go and ideas to explore, but it just sort of felt like there could have been so much editing to make it a stronger book, and he would go on this long tangent that would literally last for like pages and pages where it's just going on about something that doesn't freaking matter, and then you finally get to the end of that chapter and you're like, okay, we're done with it, and then turns out that stupid tangent is just re-mentioned so many times. Like, I think that, I don't remember what the animal was, but the main character was like, there was an animal and he was trapped, and then they let him run free, and I want to be like that animal, and it was just pounded into your brain so many times. And it's just like, I get it. I get it. Up next, I'm just going to be calling out John Green because he's, I think, the only person that comes to mind. And I wrote scholarly teens. I did mention this a while ago in a stupid freaking video I made that I think I privated, but I just said that I hated how all of the characters in his books acted like they were philosophers and they all had these deep meanings behind life, and the whole like, it's a metaphor thing was a little bit ridiculous to me. Nobody really acts like that. And I remember I got some criticism just saying that like, you know, like I act like that, and that's completely valid. I'm not saying that like people that view the world in that way don't exist, but what I think is unbelievable is the fact that every character in a John Green book is like suddenly like a 45-year-old philosophy teacher, and it's just unbelievable, and it does come off as pretentious. I just hate when all the characters are so smart and we don't have other characters to balance that out, which I think you can do easily. Have like in a friend group, and I wrote a book. Look at me, I'm the best author of the generation. No, I wrote a contemporary book a few years ago, and two characters, I had 4 main characters, and 2 of them were really alike, and they liked the same things. They were both really smart and very analytical and thought things through. And then I had 2 characters, and they were completely different. They were a lot more funny, they were a lot more sort of waka waka type characters, and they just balanced each other out so well. And the POVs, whenever it would switch, it felt so organic, which sounds like I'm just, you know, patting myself on the back, but I had so much fun writing the book because of that, because each chapter felt like a breath of fresh air, where it was like, okay, I'm so excited to be in this person's head and tell some fun jokes that won't be stupid, and all the characters won't say that it's funny. It'll just be a joke, you know what I mean? I just loved writing that book so much, and I don't plan on revisiting it just because it's such a weird idea. I would share what it was, and maybe I will share what it was. The whole idea was basically the fact that it was this summer camp. The summer camp was like this book camp, which was the title of the book, which was a play on words with boot camp, because it's a joke that one of the main characters was signed up by his parents because they thought it was a boot camp because he was like a terrible kid or something, and now he's in this camp with like all these losers that like books. It was funny, in my head at least. One main character, he went willingly, but he was really shy. The other girl was really outgoing and obviously really liked books too. Then, you know, her best friend hates books, but she doesn't want to be alone in the summer, so she decides to go to be with her best friend. And then there's the boot camp kid, and they are all in a cabin together, but they slowly start to bond. It was really fun. Don't steal that idea. I would hope that, you know, you pledging to me means you have somewhat respect for me. Yeah, but anyway, none of those characters are like super scholarly people. I think something that I tried to convey was the fact that they read books and then they apply the themes from the books they're reading into the world, where like there'll be a mean character or something, like there's a bully character, and then that character, like one of my main characters would be like, he's like Draco Malfoy, he's an idiot, and that was sort of the joke. But I just hate when all the characters act the exact same and they just don't bounce well off each other. When you read more John Green books, it definitely gets really old really quick, and that's why I think I'm just sort of over it, and I wish he would branch out and do something different, just because the like sad teen genre I think has passed, and it's just an overcompensated market. Okay, up next we have a fan favorite, and this is also my favorite and one of my favorite things to just say in life. And it's just Bad Boy. I love Bad Boys so much in books because they make me laugh so much. And I know that this video is things I hate in books, but I think I love Bad Boys because I hate it so much and because it's just so poorly done and it's so stupid every time. And I just can't help but love it because of that, which I guess I'm completely being a hypocrite by saying that. And that basically just ruins every critique I've had about any bad boy in any media ever. And I feel like I've talked about quite a few of them. Like, my sense of humor is to just say, flat out whenever you do anything mildly, you know, mildly adventurous, just say that you're a bad boy. I do it all the time. It makes me laugh. Just be like, yeah, that's right, I'm a bad boy. Just because that's what books that are really bad do. When there's a bad boy, they just flat out say that it's a bad boy. The way that they approach their bad boyness is by, first of all, just being a jerk to everybody. But on top of that, they have a tragic past, primarily featuring a father, a bad father, or featuring sometimes even a mother, which is like, it always like shocks me because I always think it's gonna be a bad father. It's just the same formula over and over again. Maybe it's getting old at this point to just be like, such a bad boy. Like, I don't know why, but that just makes me crack up. Sorry, my battery died. And unlike in, you know, years past where whenever my battery dies, I'm just screwed and have to wait like an hour for it to charge, I bought new batteries, so now I have 3. It's like the most unexciting thing ever. Anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about, but let's just move on. The next one is blatant plagiarism. There's nothing I hate more than blatantly stealing in books. It drives me insane. It makes me so upset, and I think it shouldn't be tolerated by readers at all, or the publishing industry, and I read it way too often. I watched a review for Sarah J. Maas's Kingdom of Ash, and the joke of their whole video was like, she ripped off Lord of the Rings so many times in this book, and I just remember watching it and being like actually so mad and so angry that that wasn't an issue with anybody else. The fact that she stole lines of dialogue from the films and stole general plot points that happened in Return of the King. And because like, if you're gonna steal an idea, do it better than that, idiot, you know? Like, I lost so much respect. Like, there's the diversity thing, which I think is a thing that's being worked on. I think it took a freaking long time, which she should be embarrassed about, but that's fine. I can get over that. And then there's the whole, I don't know what the other things are, but just writing bad books that have like sexist undertones. That, I can get over that. I know that maybe Reese isn't abusive. Maybe I was let down by Akafas, which is a stupid title, but I can just move past that. But then there's the whole like, you stole from someone else's book, and like it's an iconic book, and you stole dialogue, and you stole so much, where it's like, all the passes that I have given you, they're gone. I don't have any more respect for her as an author because of that. I will never read another book by her. I'm getting rid of most of her books. I kept ACOTAR just because I like those books a lot, and I'm scared to reread them because they probably suck. And especially as a writer myself, and I know that I'm not J.R.R. Tolkien, but the idea that like you can write something and have it be so sacred and something so special, and then just to have somebody come in and rip that off totally shamelessly is completely bogus to me, and I don't think people should tolerate that, and I feel like she should get called out more for that instead of just saying 5 stars, best book ever. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. And the people that did mention it were like, LOL, that's from Return of the King, but like, that's not funny. That's like, she should get kicked out of publishing. But she makes them a lot of money, so they would never do that. Like, if I can get kicked out of a college for stealing and like whatever, she should get kicked out of publishing for stealing and actively making money off of it. Is that tea or what? I don't know, but I don't respect her anymore. Okay, finally, and I don't remember writing this down, and I don't really know if I have an example, but I just said when something is hyped as a huge deal or a huge climax, but then it isn't. That's why I didn't like Queen of Air and Darkness, because there were so many awesome opportunities, like this huge thing of, you know, getting rid of all the bonds is introduced in the second book, and it feels like a seed of an idea that's gonna be paid off in the last book. There's literally a scene where they're about to do it, and then they're like, don't do that, and then they don't do it. I don't know, it didn't seem like a character moment, it just sort of seemed like Cassandra Clare had planned for that to happen, told everybody in interviews that it was gonna happen or something similar was gonna happen, but then quickly she realized that she didn't know how to write that and didn't want to deal with the repercussions of that, so she just didn't do it. So, what is coming next for my channel? Yikes. I wish that I could tell you, but I do not know. I have some ideas. I just don't know which order they're gonna come in. And now that I'm done with my Hunger Games video, I can finally move on to something else. But I also have a bunch of people coming in town for 4th of July week, which is gonna be a bit overwhelming, and I'm definitely not gonna have time to get any work done, which is gonna be really hard. And it's gonna be hard to like write out stuff. It's gonna be hard to just do a lot of things, so it might be a little bit of time before I can work on anything. But I will be thinking about what's gonna happen next. I have a couple ideas about what it could be, but I'm thinking that it might be my Air Bud video, which has been mentioned since I think maybe April, which wasn't that long ago, but so much has happened since then where it literally feels like years ago. And I guess I'm just saying that it's gonna be the Air Bud video. I'm finally excited to get into that just because it's been on my mind for so long, and I'm so excited to do it. It's gonna take a long time to do because I'm gonna be, not to like give everything away, but I'm just gonna be rewatching the movies and telling why I love them, and also probably laughing at the dumb stuff in them. And like I think the shtick of the video is that like I'm gonna be super serious and like taking like this stupid direct-to-video sequel where Air Bud plays soccer like is a big deal, and like critiquing it as if it's like an Oscar movie. Like I don't know, I just think that's a really funny idea. I gotta rewatch all the movies, find out which clips I want to include and what my talking points will be, and that'll probably take a while because there's like 5 or 6 Air Bud movies, and like it's just gonna be a long process, but I'm really excited for that. I know for a fact that after my next video, I'm gonna be doing a book video, like a bad book I don't know if it's gonna be a bad book. I guess it's just gonna be like a funny book video, and I'm gonna be throwing back an old format for that video, which I'm excited about. I would tell you like my prompt for it, but I don't know if I want to tell you just because I think the title is really funny, and also I just feel like some idiot could easily steal the idea. And even if they did steal it, it'd probably be one of you snakes on my Patreon. Like you pledged to my account liking it, then you stole my like wow. I thought that we were friends, but I guess that was all a lie. It's gonna be a throwback to an old format, and it's not like an old format. The last time I did it was my bad boy video, bad boy book video, I guess. Because apparently there's been several bad boy if you count my after video. I'm not gonna share what the prompt is and what like the overall idea is and what I'm gonna be doing to find this bad book, but it's gonna be a lot of vlog clips. I'm gonna bring that back where like I sort of talk about my thoughts as I read, and then I'm just gonna make fun of it for the last parts, and I think it's gonna be really funny. So I'm gonna do my Air Bud video and then the book video that I think is gonna be really fun, and then after that, plot twist, there's 2 Air Bud videos. I'm gonna be making an Air Buddies video where I'm gonna be breaking down the Air Buddies movies. I might not do that immediately. In my head, I thought it would be fun, but I guess that might be awkward though. I've said that I wanted to do more movie videos, and I have done a few of them, but every time I've done a movie video, never intentionally, it's always been a book movie. So like the book people are still feeling it, which is great, but I haven't done like a completely like different thing than that, and I'm scared that some of the book people might not be feeling it, and it might bomb, and it might be really embarrassing. Maybe we'll get an Air Buddies video. Maybe we won't. I'm about to hit 100,000 subscribers, which is really weird, especially because like, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, I only had 70,000, and very quickly that all changed. I hope that they'll send me one of those cool plaque things. I'm not sure if they will, because I looked like how would I even find how to redeem that, and then I looked and they're like, they're gonna review your channel to make sure, and I got so nervous because I was like, I've posted quite a few videos that feature a lot of copyrighted content in them, and it's always fair use, but that's always a tricky thing to navigate. But Oh boy, I'm just so scared that they're gonna like, okay, let's watch his latest video. And it's just like a 30-minute video about the Hunger Games, including like, literally like a bunch of clips. And I'm just scared that they'll be like, idiot, you're not getting a plaque. But I would like to have one. It would just be a cool little, like just something to look at. But anyways, thank you guys so much for pledging in June. Hopefully in July, I'll be able to get up a couple of videos. My life has just been really weird lately. And with the 4th of July weekend coming up, it's gonna be really difficult to get some work done. But I promise I'm gonna be working really hard. As for my $10 patrons, if you guys are still around next month, I'm gonna be putting up the poll on the 1st of July, so you can leave your suggestions then. And as for everybody in the $5 tier and upwards, the poll is going to be posted once I get all of their suggestions. But thank you for pledging in the month of June. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to see you for another month. Should I show you my puppy before we end this? Let's do it. I think since the last time you saw him, he has aged a full year. He's 1 year old now. He's a big guy. Hi, sweet boy. Are you so cute? Oh, I can't. Are you so cute? He said, yeah, boy. Get your big fat snoot away. Say, make sure to pledge in July. I love you. Bye.